Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another video for you guys today. Today I have a brand new deck from the Ravnica Allegiance set. And to keep things PG, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I fucking love this deck. It is a list built around Test the Snek itself, because I'm not gonna assume its gender, even though it seems to have a big pair of gonads right there. But it is the Hydroid Krasis, and this is a Temur ramp list. A concept that I did not come up with it originally. I faced somebody in the early access event, and they had this bad boy, and honestly, I absolutely loved it. I got quite torn apart by it, and I was like, you know what? I want to build something like this myself, and this is what we got right here. This is the product of some heavy tweaking throughout the entire evening, you know, making it better and better, and I'm honestly very proud of what we ended up with here, and I'm going to go ahead and explain, you know, why this is one of the most fun decks that I have played in MTG in quite some time, honestly. It's because of this thing right here. This card is one of the most satisfying cards to play as of right now, and it's just, I can't get enough of it. Hydroid Krasis is a mythic simic creature that happens to be a jellyfish, hydra, and a beast as well. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards. Round down each time. Then you got the flying and trample keywords, and on top of that, Hydroid Krasis enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. What is X? X is what you decided to be. X is the amount of mana that you spend to cast Hydroid Krasis alongside the simic requirement of a green and blue mana source. So the idea of this deck is to ramp into as many lands as we can get and play the biggest snek of them all. That is quite simply the concept, right? This card was honestly quite difficult for me to predict just how good it was going to be. Like I said in my analysis or preview of the set video, where I talked about the most interesting and potentially powerful cards from Ravnica Allegiance, I spoke about Hydroid Krasis, and as I said there, I'll repeat that now. It was very hard to predict just how good this card was going to be, because on paper it seemed to be a little bit too slow. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I was wrong with that presumption, and I'm happy to be wrong, because this card is just absolute bonkers and very powerful in this list. So the idea is to ramp. For those of you new watching, a ramp deck is a deck that tries to go ahead of the curve. And what I mean by that is that you are limited to playing one land card each turn in Magic. But a ramp deck, through the means of spells, tries to, break that rule and play more lands per turn, so that you can eventually lead to a late game in which you have more lands than your opponent, and you can cast, massive plays, right? So we ramp through several means in this list. We have the Incubation Druid, which is a 2-mana creature from the Ravnica Allegiance expansion, which is also another card that I quite simply overlooked. It's pretty effective, as it enables us to tap for a mana. Like, it's a buffed up Land of our Elves to a certain degree, right? Even though she has no attack stat, she does, or power, sorry. She enables you to cast 1 mana of any type of mana that your lands can produce, right? On top of that, she has the adapt ability that can be triggered for 5 mana, which enables her to go up to 3/5 in stats. And if she has a +1/+1 counter on her, when you tap her, you gain 3 mana instead of 1, which is quite nutty, because she enables us to not only ramp in the early game, but in the late game as well. A very useful 2-drop in pretty much all the different scenarios of a match, right? Then we have on top of that Growth Spiral, which is another card introduced with Ravnica Allegiance, a 2-mana simic instant that enables you to draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So a card that enables you to ramp from your hand instead of from your deck, which is what these other cards do. Grow from the Ashes, as you can see right there, and Circuitous Route are cards that enable us to search for land cards from our deck and place them onto the board, right? Circuitous Route can also search for gate cards, not only basic land cards, which is why we're running 1 copy of Simic Guildgate and 1 copy of Gruul Guildgate, because they're gates and they can be searched via Circuitous Route, and we generally want to search for those too, as they give us dual color and are generally more useful, right? So that is what we utilize to ramp. Then we have our removal. The reason why we're adding fire or red onto this deck list is because Red provides a lot of very key things for this sort of archetype to work, and that is, first of all, early game removal with the likes of Lava Coil. Lava Coil, I believe, is very anti-meta right now. There's a lot of things that died in Lava Coil. Lava Coil is very good. Just gonna go with that analysis and move on. We have 2 copies of Fight with Fire, which is like a worse version of Lava Coil, but also in the late game, it is one of our win condition components, as we can easily kick it because we are a ramp deck and thus deal 10 damage to our opponent's face. And we can potentially combine it with expansion to double hit them for 20 damage, amongst other things, right? We have Fight with Fire. We have Star of Extinction for a key AoE play in case we need it. We have 1 copy of Banefire alongside 2 Expansion Explosions. Banefire for the control matchup. Expansion Explosion because it's very flexible in this deck. It can be used combined with Fight with Fire or early in the game with Growth Spiral, but also can be our late game, finisher, as we can just use all of our mana that we built up the entire game to just hit our opponent with a massive hit, right? And then we have our big boy creatures. Naturally, we're a ramp deck, so we want to play big dudes, right? And overwhelm our opponent. Naturally, we have the Hydroid Krasis, which is the main component and the card that we built around this deck. But we also have 1 copy of Carnage Tyrant and the Ravager Worm, which is a mythic creature that was introduced again with Ravnica Allegiance, and a pretty powerful one at that. Really efficient against aggro and mid-range decks. Honestly, I got demolished by this thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this bad boy out, and I ended up going with 3 copies of him here because he just really puts in the work in those matchups. Not only does he enable me to trade with something, but also the 5-6 stats that are left afterwards are very efficient for blocking, as he has the Riot ability right there, as you can see, which enables me to choose between giving him haste or a +1/+1 counter, and then I can choose one of the following abilities. Either I fight a target creature I don't control when he enters, or I destroy a land with an active ability that is in a mana ability, like for example an Escanta in a control matchup. In a control matchup, instead of fighting, I can just use this guy as a haste guy. I can just drop him and just give him haste and go face. So he's pretty flexible in different matchups and just pretty reliable because we're a ramp deck, right? Generally, he seems a little bit slow, but because we ramp so efficiently, we can play him quite easily and get really good value out of him. And that is basically the deck list right there. Like I said, we ramp our land cards, we play our big dudes, and we finish off our opponent with a direct hit with one of our red source direct damage spells. We also have 1 copy of Vivian Raid to enable us to, if we run out of steam, search for the Hydroid Krasis, because it is a very important component of our game plan. And we also have 1 copy of Rhythm of the Wild for the control matchup mainly. In case we're in a bit of a stalemate, if we can play this Rhythm of the Wild, then we can turn our Hydroid Krasis into the win condition versus control, as we can play a huge ass snek, tap all our lands for it. We don't have to worry about it being countered, and we can give it haste and just one-shot our opponent. So that, alongside Banefire, I feel is good enough for us to have the upper hand in the control matchup, and I think I have enough removal to be able to handle faster decks, even though I do miss a little bit, like, strategies that go very wide can be quite menacing, and obviously, like, we can get swarmed and outpaced in that regard. But no deck is perfect, but this deck feels quite strong, and like I said, it's so damn fun to play. So without further ado, we're gonna hop onto some live gameplay, which I will be recording, and hopefully I can showcase off this bad boy properly. So let's get on to the games. All right, let's go. In Mythic Rank, boys. Let's test it against the cream of the cream, or the creme. I'm not too familiar with the expression. I'm quite simply stalling here until I find a match. Because I'm not that bad at talking with myself, right? That's why I kind of love YouTube, because I really enjoy talking in front of my computer. All right, here we go, folks. We have a 5 land opening hand. Feels a little bit too much, considering we are our ramp deck, but at the same time, we do have a Lava Coil available to us, and I'm gonna keep this, because if we do draw, like, there's a lot of cards that we can draw into that could make this hand really efficient. And like I said, we do need to make sure that we curve out, right? So we are gonna lead off with the Stomping Ground. We have a lot of shock lands in our opening hand, actually. We're gonna lead off with the Stomping Ground, and we're trying to enable a potential Lava Coil. This is a mono red deck, but I'm quite shocked to see a mono red deck that doesn't have a turn 2 play. We're going to drop the Rootbound Crag because we want to play the Incubation Druid. I have a feeling she's going to die. Because I'm like, there's no way he doesn't have like a Lightning Strike or a Shock or a Lava Coil. And he definitely has an instant available. So, yeah, I guess we just send the Incubation Druid here to her death. It doesn't matter. We have no other play anyway. So we can always follow this up with a Lava Coil next turn if he plays the 3-drop, for example. And we can potentially curve out into Vivian Raid, which can enable us to capitalize on this stale board state right now. So drawing her is pretty nice. And there it is. Shocker. Pun intended. Alright, this is mono red. This happened to be a mono red that, you know, forgot to draw lands and stuff. I'm gonna... Okay, so we gotta think here for a second. So, this enables me to go to 4. Which means next turn I can play Vivian Raid. But I take extra damage? Which is unfortunate. I think I'm going to do this instead. No, but then I miss out on the... Well, it's fine, because I have to Lava Coil. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to drop this. Because we don't want to take damage from our Shock lands. And we're going to Lava Coil that. I was thinking about using Growth Spiral, but then I would take damage, and we're facing mono red, so keeping ourselves healthy is the most important thing. Alright, so he needs... if he has a Shock, then he's... or a Wizard's Lightning, then that's actually worse. We'll enable that right there. So now we're gonna do this. Now we're gonna play Growth Spiral. Which is gonna enable us to draw a card and set this onto the board. And we are also gonna set this onto the board. And next turn we have the Big Boy Worm enabled, which can be super key because we're still over 10 life. And I think the timing is as good as it is. And there's our snek. There it is. I'm not gonna assume it's gender, but goddamn, I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Anyways, Ravager Worm. We're gonna give him a +1/+1 counter. And we are going to fight that goblin. Get him out of there. Chop him down. Look at that animation. Oh, that's sexy. I love it. That's actually really cool. Come on now. And now we got a big boy blocker here, and we have the Krasis, which can enable us to heal ourselves, and that will enable us to just shut him down. Like, the fact that this heals life is so cool. So we want to build up for the Krasis. Or, I mean, should we? Now that we have 2, we don't necessarily need that, right? We could just drop this island right here. We have a total of math, 7 mana. Which means that because it's always rounded down, no, but we're gonna pay everything because we want him to be as thick as it can be. We're gonna pay this, and we're gonna go with 7, so we need to pay 5, right? Just making sure I'm not sucking at math here. We pay X is 5, which means we gain 2 life and we draw 2 cards. We get a 5/5 on the board. I could attack with this. Because I need to start applying pressure myself, and I'm not in immediate danger, so I'm going to attack with the worm here. Get some damage on him. Though I'm probably playing into a... Yeah, I mean, if he wants to go aggressive here, like attack. Like, if he attacks with these 2, I'll block the Lava Runner, not the Goblin Chain Whirler. I'll take that hit. I'll force that out of him. It's fine. I gotta respect the direct damage you can do to me. Okay. We're gonna play Vivian Raid and we're gonna destroy that. And then we're gonna drop the Incubation Druid. And this time around, we're actually gonna preserve our blockers because he's discarded his hand and now he's literally top decking. And we are fine. We are so fine. We're gonna apply our ability.
Meet my newest friend.
And I'll take the big boy Carney. Why not? Oh, I thought that was the stomping ground. I confused that. Oops. Oh. Let's play Big Boy Carney. I can attack with you, right? Yeah, if he wants to trade. Yeah, he doesn't want to trade. We're fine. We don't even need the second one. Wait until he sees the second one. Okay, that's unfortunate. But I mean, do I care? Do I even care? Like, I don't even care. Like,
the wilds are my shield.
I'm not even gonna take that snake. I'm not even gonna like, cause I wanna. Okay, can I kill him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, this is so over. This is just so over. There we go. Bam. Blasting the mono reds away feels good, man. Not bad. Alrighty, LT Donley is our opponent. So now we can see like where we rank like on the number thing. I mean, we could see that before, but it's different than before. Like with the update is what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna keep this hand. We have a good amount of hands. We have our access to ramp. We have a lava coil in case we're facing an aggressive opponent. And I would like to be able to answer that, but unfortunately, you know, you can't ask for everything in life. I'm gonna drop the Gruul Guildgate first. Because the Gruul Guildgate always will enter tapped. So I'd rather lead off with that and then try to adapt with everything else. Okay, I'm gonna lava coil this naturally. So I'm gonna drop this island so I don't have to pay the 2 value there. We're gonna get rid of that. And then we'll start dropping our shock lands here without having to pay the damage. Okay. Merfolk? Alright. We have the Star of Extinction. Oh, shit. He's keeping that in his hand, though. That's interesting. I'm gonna drop this. And I'm gonna drop this shock land tapped. Okay, so he's keeping all those lands. All right. We're gonna take a big hit here. So I want to use this to block actually, because I'm gonna use Star of Extinction next turn, so I can block one of the big hits. So I have to use this. And I'm gonna search for the Simic Guildgate. And what else am I missing? I have 2 sources of red mana, 2 sources of blue mana. I definitely don't need green. It can't hurt to get an extra blue, right? No, red. Because this means that I'll be able to and we're taking quite the hit here. Don't get me wrong, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We gotta play this. Pay 2 life. And we get Star of Extinction, baby. Out of here! And now we slow him down significantly. Now he's literally top decking. And we can play the Ravager Worm. I could have destroyed one of the other 2 and then played this to destroy his lands. That would have been better, wouldn't it? Okay, so how much do we, yeah, we need to play this completely. Yeah, I'd rather play this with haste, right? Chop him down. And just start getting some damage on him. Alright, good stuff. Good stuff.
The wild, no one knows the wilds like I do.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Alright. Gotta beat him down. He's literally top decking. That Star of Extinction was so powerful, but I could have done things better. Because now he gets that.
Come to me.
Alright, what is he gonna get here? Surprised he's playing the Hydroid. Alright.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna take the harbor here. Okay, so we want to apply this. We want to kill her.
Not bad for a mouse.
All right. Ooh, that's a good card to keep. Like you kind of have to keep that at that point. But now we're in a position where we've taken all this beating, but we're gonna switch it around because Hydroid Krasis is just gonna come in here. Okay, how many lives we have? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 12. Okay, so we can play 10. Oh my god, we can gain 10 life and draw 10 cards. That is obscene. That is actually obscene. But wait, what if we...
Meet my newest friend.
Oh man. This is too tempting. I can wait one turn, dude. I can literally wait one turn. I can set this up. The Rhythm of the Wild. I shouldn't feel like any direct damage. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You have 6, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can just do this. Making sure we don't tap her. Fight this. Chop her down! And attack with these two just in case he has something with haste. Though I may be taking too much of a risk here. That's fine. That's so fine. That's so fine. Like I was like, it's just that this Sultai deck doesn't run like any sort of direct damage. Like that's the thing, right? So now is when shit gets real. Are you ready, boys?
Stands before nature.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Haste, baby. Overkill! Come back, boys! There we go! We climbing! That was awesome.